Hey guys, welcome back to DC Action. My name is Chris. Today we're going to be breaking down Season 3, Episode 5 of Stargirl. As always, before getting into the breakdown, make sure you've watched the episode as there will be some major spoilers ahead. This episode starts on the night of the gambler's murder, where Cindy stands over his dead body and hides his laptop from the other JSA members, as we have seen her using it behind their backs throughout the past few episodes. Courtney makes a promise to Cameron that they will figure out how to control his powers, and then they share another kiss, possibly signifying the start of a relationship that once again I believe is doomed to fail due to the secrets Courtney is keeping from him. Pat tells Courtney that Sylvester, Yolanda and Rick went into the tunnels to search for Dragon King. However, she seems uninterested due to a new interest in helping Cameron. Courtney sneaks into the basement of their house and gets a file on Icicle, presumably to research Cameron's powers a bit more. Cindy sees the JSA on the tunnel security cameras and runs the hell out of there before she gets discovered. Sylvester rages a little over a picture of the ISA and says that he and the JSA will find them and make them pay. However, immediately after he feels quite remorseful about losing his temper, believing himself to be a bad role model. Sylvester mentions Dr. Fate and Wotan in a conversation with Mike. For those that don't know, Dr. Fate was a member of the JSA, and in the comics uses the Helmet of Fate to gain his powers from one of the Lords of Order. As for Wotan, he is an evil sorcerer and the archenemy of Dr. Fate. Sylvester also mentions his green skin from the comics. Sylvester offers for Courtney to join him in investigating the Dragon King's labs. However, she refuses, making Pat a little suspicious. Jakeem and Mike get harassed by a couple of bullies. However, Cindy comes to their rescue, giving Mike an idea. I assume this idea is going to be to recruit Cindy to help them find the Dragon King, which would tip off her, considering it was presumably her skin that was left at the crime scene. Sylvester finds and enters one of Dragon King's lairs, and after finding a keypad, calls Beth, who is currently in a math test, to disable it. And of course she does this, but before she has a chance to take off the goggles, they answer all her math questions. While Pat and Barbara are out for lunch, they get interrupted by the Crocs, who say they have been investigating the gambler's murder themselves, and that they are here to help the JSA to investigate. During this lunch, Pat also mentions his concern about Courtney. However, Barbara just shrugs this off as she knows that Courtney has a crush on someone. Courtney and Cindy work on an experiment at school together and talk about their differences from the past few episodes. Cindy tells Courtney not to tell Cameron who his father really is, and for now she seems to be listening to that advice. Mike and Jakeem seek out Cindy's help in finding Dragon King, to which she laughs at and says no. Cameron comes to Courtney's table while her and her friends are discussing JSA business. While there, Rick is kind of an ass towards Cameron, but Courtney tells him to back off. Once Cameron leaves, the rest of the JSA discuss how they don't think that Courtney should be hanging around him, and all round just don't show any support and are all asses towards her, which eventually causes her to storm off. Cindy confronts Cameron a while later about his new relationship with Courtney. She mentions that he went into an institution to manage his anger while he was younger. This angers him further and awakens his powers. However, he's able to hold them back this time. After school, the JSA minus Courtney talk to Sylvester about what happened before. To their surprise, Sylvester stands up for Courtney and tells them that they should support each other and not repeat the mistakes of the original JSA that caused them to split up. Courtney tells Cindy that she's helping Cameron control his powers, but Cindy calls bullshit. Sylvester tells Rick of a limiter while he's repairing the hourglass. This limiter is responsible for introducing the 1 hour limit on the hourglass, and due to the malfunctioning time, this seems to be the issue with the hourglass. However, the way in which this scene plays out indicates that Rick will be removing the limiter completely, which will potentially cause some issues. Beth tells her parents not to interfere with her life as Dr. Midnight due to the dangers involved. Rick finds and removes the limiter inside of the hourglass, and once putting it back together, tests it out. And success. He fixed it. But I'm sure there are going to be some issues with it due to Sylvester's warning earlier. Cindy visits the lab that Sylvester discovered earlier to look for something. and while she's in there, Yolanda breaks into her house. Meanwhile, Pat searches for Courtney, who is at Cameron's house currently. And while there, Cameron puts up a nice display of his powers and his ability to control them. His grandparents see this, and their reaction does not indicate they are happy by this. Coming back to Yolanda, she finds the gambler's laptop in Cindy's house and claims she's going to
kick her ass.
Anyway, that is the end of the episode, and as such, the end of this video. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please consider subscribing for more content like this. And be sure to check out my Twitter account for everything DC and more. But until next time, this has been Chris, and I'll be seeing ya.